Okay, so good afternoon and to all our participants from India, and good morning to everyone who's joining from Germany. I am Dipti Kanitkar from the Indo-German Chamber of Commerce, and I'm happy to welcome you all to the presentation event on the occasion of the virtual delegation visit from the German Technical Textiles industry. Well, we are a little beyond the pandemic, but the virtual format still has its benefits, and I'm happy that in that case many people can still join from all across India for that. So as part of our program today, we have companies from Germany. So 8 companies will be presenting on the machinery, which are from the machinery as well as from the products segments. A note on that, there is the agenda for today's event, which is also uploaded in the handouts section, as well as which gives the flow of the event today. And we also have the delegation brochure also uploaded there for your information. So as you may see, we have the honor of having today a series of high-profile speakers, and we are happy to have your participation. Thank you, everyone. So we have, of course, people from also speakers from the ministry, from the embassy, associations from India and Germany, and also a representation from the Indian government. So with that, I would then first like to request Ms. Stephanie Baum, who is from the German Federal Ministry for Economic Affairs and Climate Action, to supporting this and be with us today. Over to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
I think so. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for the introduction and the warm welcome. Unfortunately, I have to leave a little bit earlier, but if you have any questions, you are welcome to send us an email and we will answer promptly. And I'm convinced that the presentation event today and our digital trade mission overall will be a great success for everyone involved. I'm delighted to be here today and to represent the German Federal Ministry for Economic Affairs and Climate Action. My name is Stephanie Baum and I work in the department for the consumer goods industry, and I'm responsible for the textile industry. One important instrument of the German government to promote foreign trade and investment is the Foreign Market Entry Program. Through this program, the Federal Ministry supports the creation and development of business contacts and relationships in foreign markets for small and medium-sized companies. SMEs make a key contribution to the social market economy, competitiveness, and the prosperity of our country. Therefore, providing support for SMEs is a priority for the German government. Small and medium-sized enterprises stand for high-quality products, for safeguarding well-paid jobs, and for providing dual vocational training in order to secure knowledge transfer as well as the skilled labor they need. We regularly update our SME strategy in order to ensure that SMEs will continue to fulfill this role. Additionally, the Federal Ministry seeks to help SME establish business ties with foreign countries under said SME strategy, and the digital trade mission is part of this strategy. We enable the companies to expand their professional network, meet potential business partners abroad, and successfully enter foreign markets. This program brings us all together today, and I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Globalization, digitalization, and climate change are the most important challenges our countries and economies are currently facing, even more so during and after the COVID pandemic and its impact on our economies and on consumers' demand patterns. We share many strategies and needs which encourage us to deepen our economic cooperation and create exciting business opportunities to face these challenges together. Our government as well as our industries are well aware that it will only be possible to master the challenges of the future if we work together with partners around the world. The German participants in these events are very interested in learning more about the situation on the Indian market. They look forward to exchanging ideas with you about potential solutions and common opportunities. The German textile and clothing industry is primarily made up of small and medium-sized enterprises and employs a total of around 124,000 people. 1/3 of the approximately 1,400 companies in the sector are clothing manufacturers. The remaining majority produce technical textiles. The sector generates a turnover of around 29 billion euros. The variety of different products includes clothing and fashion, soft furnishings, and technical textiles. German industry owes its market leadership in technical textiles not least to the abundance of textile research being done at numerous German institutes. There are, for example, many hidden champions among these textile SMEs. They are global market leaders with their highly innovative, specialized products. There's still much potential to be tapped in the industry. Technical textiles is an important and fast-growing subsegment of the textile sector that finds its usage in an array of industry such as agriculture, construction, and healthcare. India and Germany are both strong in this field, whether in terms of production or research and development. The online delegation trip shall now be used to facilitate business contacts as well as provide important impetus for further intensifying the fruitful cooperation between India and Germany. The German companies taking part in this event only represent a small fraction of Germany's textile industry, which overall stands for quality and innovation and enjoys excellent global reputation as a reliable business partner. They offer a wide range of sustainable and innovative products and services, and I look forward to the representations and discussions regarding mutual opportunities today. I would like to reiterate my great thanks to all participants and to the team of organizers. Here's wishing all the participants an interesting exchange of ideas and great success at today's event and during the following days. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Baum, for your words of encouragement, and we are happy to also have you as part of the program today. Yeah, we also wish the German companies a lot of fruitful discussions in the coming days. So, I would now like to invite then Dr. Stefan Hesselmann, Minister Counselor for Economic Affairs from the German Embassy in Delhi. Dr. Hesselmann, sorry, over to you, please. I think so. You're on mute, Dr. Hesselmann.
Okay, now it should work. Sorry about that. So very warm welcome from my side from the German Embassy. I'm Minister Counselor for Economic Affairs. It's exciting to be in India at the moment because India is really on the world stage. It's developing quickly economically. It is now the 5th largest economy worldwide and on track to being the 3rd largest economy within a few years, overtaking Germany and Japan. We have annual growth rates of 6%, a population of 1.4 billion. We have an improvement in infrastructure, which is enormous, be it roads, be it digital infrastructure. A lot of people entering the labor markets every month. It's about 1 million Indians entering the labor market every month. That is an incredible number compared to what we have in Germany. We see a lot of room for increased cooperation. Our bilateral trade volume at the moment amounts to about 30 billion euros. It is only 1/10 of our trade volume with China, and we are willing and on the way to increase our cooperation with India. But it all starts not from the economic big figures, but from the groundwork that you as companies are doing in entering a market, in finding business partners, in finding cooperation models. And that is so important to have a seminar like that. On the one hand, the COVID crisis at the moment seems to be over and a lot of exhibitions take place again. We recently had, for example, the Plus India here in Delhi and Greater Noida. We have a fair like every week, a lot of exchanges, a lot of German companies coming, but it always takes for participants to come about 1 week at least to come over and prepare. And so it's also very important to have this format, which we have today. We have had a lot of high-level political visits recently to India from Germany. The Chancellor Chancellor Scholz came to Germany just in February. Our foreign minister came and several dozens of parliamentarians. So there is a lot of buzz. In India, there's this PLI scheme policy, Make in India, export promotion policy. So things are good, and we are very much looking forward of how you can use this digital marketplace to connect and to take things forward. We as an embassy look at this with excitement. We see the opportunities, and thank you for having me join.
Thank you, Dr. Hesselmann. Yeah, indeed, there is a lot of interaction and there's a lot of interest from both the governments on more and more cooperations, while we already have a lot of existing cooperations, but the engagement is definitely expected to go up in the coming years. So, and on that note, that is also where the Indo-German Chamber of Commerce would come into the picture. And I would like to ask our Director General, Mr. Stefan Halusa, for his words of welcome. Over to you, Stefan.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dipti. A warm welcome from Mumbai, warm and a good afternoon to all the participants and speakers from India. Good morning to all the participants and speakers from Germany. Of course, it's a great pleasure to be here today on behalf of the Indo-German Chamber. Of course, I would like to also thank our partners in organizing and for their support organizing this event. I think it comes at a very good time, as Stefan Hesselmann has already pointed out. I mean, probably that's my old-fashioned understanding, but most of the times I hear textiles, and I hear that textiles are still among the top 3 trade items between or export items from India to Germany. I think there's still many people would think about clothes and maybe home textile, whereas, as Mrs. Baumann has pointed out, there are so many more applications that we can think of, and where textile replaces other materials, and it is great to see that two delegations and business representatives of 2 countries with such a rich textile tradition come together today and take probably this to the next level in terms of exchanging information about the technology, about the product itself, the material, but also the machines and the production technology that is required to take this one step forward. And I think that the delegation visit, in this case, a virtual delegation visit, is a very, very good first contact point to a foreign market, in this case, of course, to the Indian market. And very grateful to the ministry that we have the opportunity to help companies approaching India and potential business partners in India through this program. We see, as Stefan pointed out, a lot of interest among medium-sized and smaller-sized companies in Germany and also in India in the respective other markets. And of course, we want to be instrumental to building that bridge. This is our role, as Dipti pointed out. It is our role to bring the companies together and also to help the companies being successful in the other market, to understand market dynamics, to understand what is happening. And we are, of course, happy to provide them more detailed information on markets, on business attitude, on the regulatory framework. This is part of what we're doing. Of course, training and skilling is an integral part of our activities as well, and to also explain to the industry what is happening in the other markets. One topic that of course comes to our mind right now is always the supply chain due diligence law that has been in effect in Germany since the 1st of Jan this year, which has an impact on Indian suppliers and Indian industry as well. And it is also there where we see a task for us to train companies and to make companies aware of what is happening in the other respective market. India is full of potential, and it is a complex it's a complex, I don't want to call it creature, a complex market, and therefore it is really very good to have this opportunity here to change information, to get to know each other, to understand each other better. And with that, and the hope that you will all have very fruitful discussions for the rest of the day, I would like to wish everyone very inspiring discussions and an information exchange, and give back to Dipti to take over again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stefan. Yeah, so as Stefan mentioned, yes, we are here to support the companies, and please, happy to answer various queries. On that note, we then move on to the next presentation, or the next welcome note. We have Mr. Amit Agarwal, who is the chairman of the Indian Technical Textiles Association, which is also the leading association for technical textiles in India. They have also been, or they also are, our knowledge partner for this event, and we are very happy to have your support in this for this project. So on that note, over to you, Mr. Amit Agarwal.
Very good morning and very good afternoon, delegates and my speaker friends here. Indeed, I'm very excited to be here because when I started my career, it was maybe 25-30 years back. I visited the Indo-German Chamber of Commerce. I don't remember, it was in Corporate or Nariman Point, and we used to look at the books there. You know, we would go there into this Chamber of Commerce and try to understand, you know, the different subject matter books were available to look at, you know, who are the potential customers or the buyers or the machinery guys. So on a personal note, I have a very great you know, memories about the Indo-German Chamber of Commerce. And in fact, my relationship with Tech Textile, for that matter, because when we started our company almost more than 15 years back, it was the first time when we went abroad at the Tech Textile. So Messe Frankfurt and Tech Textile is also close to our heart, because that is the first time we wanted to go out and look what technical textile is all about, and that is where the Messe Frankfurt or Tech Textile, or for that matter so overall, if we talk about, when we talk as India, Germany is what comes to our mind, because even today we have so many of our equipment, the doniers, and you know, these guys, the on-tech, the coating line that we have is made in Germany, and we have a very close relationship in terms of our own industries, people investing German machines. So if you talk about in totality, the technical textile industry has a close relationship with Germany, and that is what the starting point is. And I'm very happy, you know, as ITTA, my executive director is also with me. He'll be there with the whole process. The members have joined in. So as Indian Technical Textile, we are the one-stop shop for technical textile members. So our members are majorly the manufacturing group of this country. And what we see in the list of the companies who are presenting this program today is basically the connection. It could be in terms of the joint ventures, it could be in terms of their selling into India, the knowledge, etc., in whatever way. So we are the association for the members, and this was with the blessings of the Textile Commissioner's Office almost 12 years back. So we have a journey of almost 12 years where we have more than 400 members, hardcore technical textile companies who are these members. So this platform of ITTA would be a very good platform for the German companies wanting to look at India in whatever possible ways they want to be there with this with us. And no doubt my previous speakers have already talked about, you know, why and how this is a very exciting uh, threshold point we are in this country with our economy at 3 trillion and expanding to grow. Our Prime Minister has been talking about this, you know, the kind of growth that we are talking about, you know, number 5, 6, we wanting to go to number 3. And it is being seen worldwide that with the growth of the country, when the GDP of the country grows, the technical textile industry grows, because we are talking about all the different sectors of the economy, and technical textile is into all these different economies, all the different sectors of the economy. So even if I talk of a simple example of road infrastructure, I mean, we have a huge national investment pipeline that is, you know, that is coming up with an investment, you know, of 111 lakh crore investment projected, you know, into just the infrastructure, national infrastructure pipeline, and that will give a new fillip to the geosynthetic industry for that matter. I mean, so whichever sector you catch, you talk of geosynthetic, you have a whole lot of things. You talk of sustainability, you have a whole lot of things to do. You talk of agriculture, then we'll again have, you know, the per capita production of our country is much lower than what is you see in Israel or in Australia, whatever. For example, the crop of cotton for that matter. So how can agro-textile can be used to increase the per acreage production of cotton for that matter? So whichever sector you talk of, you know, there will be scope, there will be possibilities, and there could be, you know, the growth availability. So I wish this program a great success. This is just a starting point. We will have more and more such programs coming up in future with ITTA available at your disposal to take advantage. Our members take advantage, your members take advantage, and it's a best way to do it, you know, with the lowest possible cost, with the time everybody can be used their own time. I think there's no better way, and we are at an inflection point where, you know, we have just to go up. So thank you for giving me this opportunity at your service. Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Mr. Agarwal. And yeah, once again, thanks to ITTA, also Dr. Anup Rakshit, who is also here with us today, we have been interacting a lot. And yeah, indeed, India is supposed to grow, especially this particular sector. The government is really keen that it grows, also that India increases its capabilities. And yeah, we are all here to support the companies from the Indian and the German side. So thank you. With that note, I think we also have a presentation from Ms. K. Sunita, who is Principal Secretary for the Andhra Pradesh government. And basically, she would like to, of course, present about and the advantage for investing in Andhra Pradesh, basically for technical textiles and textile industry. Thank you, Ms. Sunita, for joining us, and I would like to hand over to you.
Thank you, Deepthi. Good morning to the people in Germany, and good afternoon to all the Indian viewers. This is a privilege to me to present before the greatest economy in the European Union, who's well known for their quality and their automotive industry and the research and development and their large skilled labor, and them being the third largest exporter and importer in the world. From Indian side, I would be representing mostly Andhra Pradesh, but a little listening into India. 4% of the global trade in textiles is owned by India. Its GDP is around 9%, and we also textiles contribute to 2% of our GDP. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Thank you. So, of all the states in India, Andhra Pradesh has the highest growth rate. It's 11.4%. Andhra Pradesh stood first in 3 consecutive years in ease of doing business. And we are also having a lot of good raw material in terms of cotton, raw silk, jute. Availability of textile parks in Andhra, we have 10 of them, and we have around 2,004 acres of land in 7,337 plots. We have a single window system for clearing all the industries, and our general timeline for this is 12 days, as in the norm of 21 days. We have 155,000 people employed in the textile sector. The share of AP's export share in textiles is $417 million. We have 18,507 MSMEs and 140 large and mega textile units. In terms of cost of production, ours is one of the lowest in terms of the cost of labor, or the cost of power, or the cost of water. It is very, very competitive, and we have especially skill development institutes, and we have technical institutes like National Institute of Design, National Institute of Fashion Technology, Indian Institute of Handloom Technology, which cater to a lot of students who are good in textiles. We have very good logistic connectivity. We have 6 ports, 6 airports, and 4 more ports and 4 more airports are on the annual. They're going to come down shortly. And we have 3 industrial corridors. 95% of the handlooms also are from India, and Andhra Pradesh also has its a large share of handloom. There were 35 handloom varieties are there, and another 35 handicrafts are there. We also have a medtech zone where there is a lot of medical textiles available. We have 15 textile companies, and we have international players like Tori and Unicharm and Grasim already available with us. Our industrial policy is almost on par with other states, and we are ready to discuss any incentives on a tailor-made policy with any of the investors. We are willing to encourage investments in Andhra Pradesh and also enter into JVs with any of the investors who are willing to do so. We are interested in your green button standards and the way you all have taken everything to its logical end in terms of quality in either automobile or electronics or other technical textiles. And I would like to welcome all of you all very warmly to visit Andhra Pradesh and take a call. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Sunita, for the introduction to Andhra Pradesh and why it would be interesting for the companies to also be there. Well, we will then move on to the next session. We will.
Excuse me, Dipti, just 1 second. There was a question in the chat. Maybe we can quickly address the question.
Oh, yeah.
That was
okay.
specifically for Andhra Pradesh now. So I will just read it out because I think the speakers cannot see it. So there was the question from Mr. Prashant Trivedi. Where can we see the spinning units in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana compared to the other states like Tamil Nadu, Kerala?
We have spinning units in Guntur, which is the capital of Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana also they are there. If anybody is interested, if they could drop a mail to us, we would definitely be able to share the locations with them.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So what, that was the only question, right? No.
Yeah, there was just some question whether there are any slides being presented. Maybe there was some confusion about that.
Do you want me to share some slides?
I think they are asking if there is any slides which you would like to share. So what I would suggest is that after the event, which is something which we would anyways do, is share the presentations by the speakers. And Ms. Sunita, if you have any slides also to add, we are happy to share that with the participants then. So
sure.
we could do
I'll
that.
share.
Yeah.
I'll share them in the evening. Thank you.
Okay.
I have another meeting, but my office will continue. Ms. Amukta will be there in case of any further questions.
Okay, yeah, noted. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So thank you once again for taking time to join us, Ms. Sunita. And yeah, we will then move on to the next presentation, or rather the next in line is Mr. Stefan Schmidt from the Industrial Association for Finishing Fabrics, Yarns and Technical Textiles from Germany. And we are happy to welcome you and also have a short overview about the German industry from you. Over to you, Mr. Schmidt.
Thank you very much. Let me see if I can switch on my screen. Can you see it now?
We can see it. Yeah.
We just need to go on the full screen if possible.
Full screen, same as before. That better?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for inviting me today. My name is Stefan Schmidt. I'm here in Frankfurt in our headquarters. We are one of the many associations of the German Textile Federation. And I was invited to give a little bit of overview about the development and state of the art of technical textiles in Germany. As you will receive the presentation after the meeting, I will skip some of the slides so that you can read them later on in your leisure time. A quick overview about the German textile organizations, German textile, technical textile research, some of the offers we have for India, long-term business and future opportunities, and also a little bit of sneak peek what we believe might be in the next years when technical textiles. This was already mentioned by Mrs. Baum. There are 1,400 companies in Germany producing textiles. Around 60% of them are in the market of technical textiles. We have 16 technical research institute for textiles, and the turnover is between 28 and 29 billion euros. That's our head in Berlin. Ms. Ingeborg Neumann is the president. And we have 14 subsector associations, 10 regional associations. I think it's nearly the same as in India. And the head association, federation in Berlin, they are responsible for everything about social policies, economic policies, and so on. We as IGCC, as a technical association, are within a network of all these other colleague associations in Germany. And our headquarters, I mentioned, it is in Frankfurt. The members of our association around 60% of the German textile industry, and we have 40% of export and around 18 to 19% of all products in the are younger or newer than 1 year. As IGCC, we have members from the whole textile chain, and specifically the products from agro-textiles, about Indo-textiles and sport textiles. In the research before this meeting, I saw that there is a lot of going on in the technical textile sector in India in regarding of the PACTEC, and only the whole eco technical textiles are starting. That's actually one of the big markets now here in Europe. As you know, sustainability and Green Deal of Europe is going in the direction to become a clean, green, and carbon neutral industry. So we, as a quick overview, we are in 46 working groups in the standardization. That's also where we had in the past the most contacts with Indian companies. There are 3 big groups of products and companies, and also in the sector of our customers. The one is in the last year lightweight production. That starts also with the production of wind energy, because as you know, the wings of all these wind energy machines are made of carbon and glass fibers. In Germany is still big in the automotive sector. That's the second largest, and what's come not even in the last years is the medical sector. There's a long-term relationship also between Germany and India. Textile is always teamwork. Within Germany, we work together with 16 research institutes, and as a European Technical Textile Club, there we are also teaming up with the associations and with the members and producers all over Europe, from Italy, France, Spain, and so on. Since over 20 years, we publish every second year a small compendium including all the textile producers in Germany. You'll find there in which area of technical textiles they are working, contact details, and also details about the technology sectors. There's over 70 technology areas they are working, and part of that, it's also the machine companies, software, the chemical, and the fiber producers. So topics at the moment of research in technical textiles is resource efficiency. You might have heard energy is quite expensive at the moment in Germany and Europe. The circular textile systems are picking up, recycling, sorting, and reprocessing. That's also something very important and for the future of the Indian textile industry, because at the moment it's a one-way road. Textiles get produced in India and sent to the world, but in future we need to find ways how actually to recycle that. And for that it's important to start right at the beginning of the textile production with the producing and the systems behind them. That's only a small screenshot from some of the current running projects. You'll see there it starts even from vector protection with aramide fibers, about flame retardant, bio-based composites, nano fibers, and so on. So our institutes and our companies are quite busy. Per year there are around 500 projects going on. The most of them also supported by the German ministries, and we are very happy about that, and thanks to the ministries in Berlin. I checked, and actually the trading partnership between India and Germany, it's about 400 years. And today I think we have around 1,700 companies operating in India. Some of our members have plants there, and India for us as also on the universities of applied science, it's the biggest student group. So there's a lot of students coming from India to Germany to study here textile technology. Regarding exports between Germany and India, that's at the moment, or let's say 2 years ago, it was 55 million euros. And the import from India to Germany is 596 million euros, because India is a huge producer of clothing and home textiles. And as in Germany, the most of the producers have already changed to technical textiles, we need to import these products to us. What is made in Germany can offer to you. There's a lot on the political sector going on, as you have heard. Highest environmental standards for all products is one of the key in Germany and in Europe at the moment. Renewable energy, energy efficiency, sustainable urban development. We also have old buildings who need to be replaced and refurbished and so on. I think that's the same everywhere in the world. Climate-friendly mobility. The whole car system is picking up, and also geotextile for flood protection, agrotextile to protect soil and water are good products. We have knowledge here in Germany which is built up over the last 60 years, which we can offer to Indian companies. There is one specific map you can access, Leichtbauatlas.de. There are 1,100 companies who are in the field of lightweight production there. Many of them are also producing technical textile for that sector. So when you go on the internet, you will find a lot of partners who are willing to help you. There is one example, Dr. Reiner, he was many years in Aachen at the university and at the institute there. He is now back since a couple of years in India and actually is transferring all the knowledge regarding the production of new buildings there to the public and to the economy. It helps, it can save and reduce, for example, 85% of the used concrete. And I think that's also good to keep an eye on the resources, because we need globally to be more resource efficiency in the coming years. A big achievement where we are very proud about here in Germany is the reduction of our CO2 emission. On the one hand, it's a little bit of a burden because our energy prices went up. Because of that, on the other hand, if you want to source carbon neutral products, Germany is the place to be. As I mentioned at the beginning, every 5 years we sit together in big groups and workshops and we think a little bit about our future. And the last summary of that perspective 2023, underneath you can see the download of the executive summary. You can download that for free and maybe see what we believe will be the next or the future in textiles, specifically in technical textiles. With that, I thank you for your attention. I'm open for question. You can reach me by email, and let me finish with a little bit quote. Be ready when opportunity comes. Luck is the time when preparation and opportunity meets. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Schmidt, for the very, very informative presentation. Very nice overview on Germany, its capabilities, and what could be most relevant for India. But I'm sure we'll find a lot of beyond your list. Also, the whole field for cooperation is quite vast here. So thank you again for highlighting all of those points. I think we have a few questions, and
Yes.
we will take those questions. Yeah.
Yes, so actually we have 2 questions from Mr. Schmidt. One is from Mr. Amit Jain. He's asking, as German technology and machines are expensive, no doubt they are top of line. Is there any German funding and support from machine makers or any institution?
Machines cost money, and I think the quality in that way is the key for buying German machines and also German products. There's a lot of know-how going in, and you need to see, and I already heard it from Mr. Agarwal in his presentation, there's a lot of knowledge on that area. So there is no specific, what I know, funding from the German government for machine companies to sell cheaper machines to the world. I think you can ask the questions maybe later in the afternoon directly to the machine producers. There's Strichler there. I think they're well known. They also have, to my knowledge, a plant in production place in India. There is Dines, who are an excellent machine company regarding also carbon production. If you want to go more in the area of to being climate neutral and use more wind energy, then you need that machines to produce the fibers. And then maybe if it's Dornier or other weaving producers or Karlmayer for non-crimp fabrics, they are all have their technology centers in Germany, and a lot of them have local agents for that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
We have a second question from Mr. Prashant Trivedi. He asks, is there any research going on for the non-woven material used for regular shirting and suiting wear clothes?
Yes, there's going a lot on at the moment. We have 3 research institutes. The main one in that area, or with the biggest machine capacity, is STFI in Chemnitz in the east of Germany. They are experts for nonwovens. To my knowledge, there are like 40 research projects going on at the moment. A lot of them, I have to say, on technical textiles, not specific on clothing. The second and third ones are the institutes in Aachen, as well as in Denkendorf, DITF. They have regularly also exchanges. I know that Professor Dr. Gries from Aachen, he's regularly in India, and very well known also to the association, Technical Textile Association, and to many of the institutes there. So I think I'm not sure what his next travel plans, but he will be around to get in contact directly with him.
Yes,
Okay,
thank you
yeah.
for your answer. That's it for the moment so far with the questions.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So, yeah, once again, thank you, Mr. Schmidt, for the very informative session. And also the agents, so the research institutes which he mentioned, in case, yeah, the audience, somebody from the audience is interested to get in touch, then we can also support in that aspect. With that, I think we come to the end. Oh, sorry. Yes, please.
No, only one offer, our little booklet. If you are interested, I'm quite happy to send a whole stack to the Indo-German Chamber to then distribute if you are interested.
Okay, yes, I think so. I will be in touch, or rather, we will be in touch on that also. And if companies are interested in having it, we are happy to support that. So why not? Yeah. But thank you for the offer. So So having said that,
there's one last question
there's-
coming now. So maybe I
Okay.
will have 2 more minutes. So the question is there any scope for textile MC automation solution provider in Germany? The question is from Mr. Kartike M from Kartike Prima Automation.
To whom, or to me, or?
I think it is to you. It is not clear, just mentions sir, but I think that it is to you then.
Our head federation had, for the last 5 years, and all the institutes already many years before that, a lot of going on regards automation and robot systems. As you know, people are expensive, so every textile producers actually look into that way to make also the work more easy and faster. So there's a lot of going on in respect of automation for technical textiles or for textile itself. I'm not from the Machinery Association, but in their name, I welcome everyone this year to the big ITMA fair in Milano, in Italy. I think there you will see a lot of new machines and a lot of interconnection between different machine producers.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you also to that. If we have also any suggestions basically for machinery automation, we are also happy to provide the same eventually. So yeah. Then okay, we come back to, or rather we come to the end of the first session, and we will soon be moving on to the next session where the German companies will be presenting. I once again thank all of our expert speakers who have been here today for all the insights. And I think one short note, we have in terms of the handouts, there's a section called handouts where the agenda for today as well as the brochure, which has the profiles of the companies, both these documents are uploaded for your reference. So I hope you all are able to actually view them or download them also for your information. And yeah, we will continue with then the next sessions, also with the Q&A after each presentation. So yeah, thank you. And I would then hand over to my colleague Franziska Röttger from our office in Düsseldorf. Maybe before that, a short note. So there also our team who is here, Mr. Ferdinand Schlechter, also Ms. Shriya Dikshit and Kamal Pruthi, who are probably not visible here. But thanks again to the team as well for helping to put the show together, or rather, working as a team then. So over to you, Franziska, then.
Thank you very much, Dipti, and also thank you very much to all speakers who have already contributed today. Very interesting inputs also for me. So Dipti has already mentioned these delegations, be it online or offline, really, they are a massive group effort. So we are joining forces basically from all offices and corners in India and as well in Germany, in my case. So I work in our German Düsseldorf office. And one part of my job is bringing companies to India and German companies to India. And I'm very happy to do that today as well, even if it's in the online format, which also has its advantages. We have heard already, I mean, India, we might be a little bit biased working for the Indo-German Chamber of Commerce, but India this year, really, India is everywhere. I mean, everyone talks about India, everyone travels to India, everything is happening in India. India is everywhere. And the same is actually true, we realize now while preparing this project, while speaking with the companies, the same is true for technical textiles, really. They are everywhere. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find any sector, any application where there is not use and also need for technical textiles, which is something that if you're a lay person and you're not really in the topic, you're not aware actually where all these fabrics are needed and used. And they are everywhere. And that is also something that is really reflected in the participants of our delegation today, whom we are very happy to welcome and also very happy to provide a platform for them to showcase their products. Before I start introducing you to the actual companies, immediately, being very German, I go right in and start with the bad news. I have some bad news. So 2 companies are unfortunately last minute unable to join today. That is Iprotex and Oppermann. But we have their profiles in the delegation brochure, which Dipti has already mentioned, which you can download. And we will also share their presentations to anyone who is interested. So that much for the bad news. But now I would like to continue with the good news, and that is introducing our first company, which is Sanders Kaufmann. And Sanders Kaufmann, they are doing a product, also a range of products, but a product which is not directly, let's say, hardcore technical textiles, because they are doing beddings. but specialized beddings. And I think all of us in the call probably are people who are well traveled, traveling a lot. And I think all of us, we know that feeling if we come home and we can just sink, or if we come back to the hotel and we can just sink into that nice bed of nice and fluffy beddings. And yeah, this is one of the products that Sanders Kaufmann is offering and supplying. And with that, I think I would hand over to Mr. Martins, who is going to tell you more about their products and also about their interest in the Indian market. Over to you, Mr. Martins.
Okay, thank you. Can I share my slides right now?
Yes. 1 second.
One moment.
Yeah, that's looking good. Now you just need to go into the full screen.
Yeah.
Bottom right, next to the scaling, indicator. Bottom, go to the bottom right.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, no, yes.
So I think now you can see my slides.
We have the speaker view. So if you go to Anzeigeneinstellungen on the top, yeah, and there you change, yes, the first thing. Then that should work as it's supposed to work. Yeah, perfect. All set to go.
Now it's working?
Yes.
Perfect. So yes, first of all, thank you very much for the warm welcome, and yes, good morning to Germany and good afternoon to India. And as Franziska Röttger mentioned, we are Sanders Kaufmann, and we are located in Bramsche, nearby Osnabrück, in the north of Germany, just 1 hour from the Dutch border. And we are a leading European manufacturer of bedding products, as duvets, pillows, and toppers. And one of our special things is that we own the whole process in our company. So we finish the raw fabric, we manufacture the shells, and in the end we wash, sort, and fill our duvets with high-class feather and downs. And we are already represented in over 40 countries on all continents all over the world. And of course, we would be very happy if we could add India to this list. If I will tell also a bit about our history. So I will not go back to the beginning of the history, as Sanders Kaufmann, Sanders, one part of the company, has already 130 years of history, and Kaufmann is celebrating this year 200 years anniversary. So the most important thing is that in 2017 we were taken over by the Austro Holding, a company from Austria, and there was a merger between Sanders, a company north of Germany, Bramsche, and Kaufmann, who was from Austria. And now we are a company together with the name Sanders Kaufmann GmbH. In 2021 we put the new fabric finishing line in production here in Bramsche, and now the new project for this year is that we will centralize everything, the fabric department, also the filling department in Bramsche in our headquarters. Yes, exactly. Yeah, here an overview where we are. So in Bramsche here, the headquarters, and but Bentheim will close shortly. So there's right now the filling department, but we will move to Bramsche altogether. We sew our shells in Ukraine, Vinograd, and then we have a sister company in Kettenkamp called Aro Artländer, who's very famous for the feather and down department. And furthermore, we have a sales representative in China, Shanghai, so we are very close to our customers in Asia. Yes, regarding our core brands, we have 3 different brands. First of all, Kaufmann is our premium range, the ready-made products, the duvets, high-class duvets and pillows that we offer all over the world. Then we have Künsemöller for our consumer market, which we mainly offer in Germany. And then we have Sanders of Germany, is very famous all over the world for the very soft fabric and has already a history of 130 years. And yes, is very, very famous for the soft fabrics that we can offer to all our customers. Here also a little overview of the product range from the different brands. As I've already mentioned, Kaufmann and Künsemöller offer duvets, pillows and quilts, and then the fabric shells and encasings by Sanders Kaufmann. So these products are all available through multiple retailers, department stores, chain stores, furniture shops, and also online shops all over the world. Here are a short overview of our key performer articles. The Bavaria is a duvet with a special filling from Bavaria, a very famous region in Germany. Then we have the Austrian Weidegans with also a special filling from Austria. Our most expensive duvet is the Eiderdown. It's the Eiderdown from Iceland, a very warm keeping down. And then we have special constructions with the climber lungs and the Pro-Pillow. Yes, also very important, and we care a lot about our certificates. We care a lot about animal welfare, of course. For this, we have different certificates, as for example, the down pass. So the whole supply chain from where the down comes from is traceable for all our customers. Then we have also several certificates for the fabric, as the Sunpro Care Sensitive and the Ökotex, for example. Especially the Sunpro Care Sensitive stands for the high quality of our fabrics, as well as the Bramscher Tuch, who's very famous, especially in Germany, the Bramscher Tuch, for the fabric here in Bramsche, where we are located. And then also our duvets, pillows are suitable for allergy sufferers, especially for house dust. Yeah, last but not least, we have some references where we are represented all over the world in European premium department stores as Le Bon Marché in Paris, Treka in Paris and London, but also Galeria Karstadt in Germany, and also some online shops. Then the leading furniture and home textile stores as IKEA, but also Höfner and Porter in Germany, but also interesting Louvre Casa in China, for example. And then leading specialties stores also all over the world in South Korea, Hong Kong, and China. And then last but not least, we can also offer private label to our customers, as for example, we do for Yves Saint Laurent and Hessens, Hugo Boss, who are very famous brands all over the world. Yes, also some reference for the hotels that we have, as for example, the Mama Shelter Group or the Hyatt, and also the Hotel Adlon in Berlin, who's very famous. Yes, last but not least, what I want to mention is that, of course, we are a high-class producer of duvets and downs, duvets, pillows, and fabrics, and we are looking especially for distribution partners, sale partners in India, or also outfitters of hotels, and also manufacturers of bedding items who are interested in fabric shells and fillings. So yes, thank you very much for your attention, and if you have any question, you're always welcome to contact us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Martins. Good point. Are there questions? If there are questions at any point, either write them in the chat box or let us know. Ferdinand, questions so far?
So far, there are no questions.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, now we would be talking about the company Opperman and the company Eprotex, as I said, unfortunately, they're both unable to join. Opperman does high quality webbing for, amongst other things, seatbelts and load securing. So I think anyone who has in India seen the trucks loaded with sugarcane in the harvesting season, if not for anything else, that's really where you would need and want proper load securing. And the same goes, of course, for seatbelts, and Opperman can help there. As I said, we will supply their information to anyone who is interested. Please get back to us. And Eprotex, they are mainly doing cable protection and cable bundling wire. So yeah, I think we all know it from our small household where cables are everywhere and get into chaos or break the phone charging cable as it breaks. So yeah, of course, the industry has the same problem, and Eprotex can help you with a solution for this, but also the same thing. If you're interested, please get back to us and we will give their information to you. So yeah, with that said, the next company who is going to present is actually with us in the call, and I'm very happy to welcome Jos van Hatton from Norafin Industries. Norafin is, I think we've all heard in the last 3 years, suddenly, even if people didn't know it before, the word PPE suddenly came up everywhere, personal protective equipment. Of course, in this case, in a medical context, so suddenly this thing called personal protective equipment became crucial really for everyone. But long before COVID, there were also other sectors where, of course, personal protective equipment was crucial. And one such example are firefighters, and yeah, everywhere where people need to be protected from heat, be it directly or indirectly, and protection, personal protective equipment for firefighters. But not just that, but yeah, also many more things can be supplied by Norafin, and what exactly and how exactly and why it's special, that I will hand over to Mr. van Hatton. Mr. van Hatton, the floor is yours. I will give you presenter rights and let you share your presentation.
Yes, thank you very much, and thank you for being part of this event and digital trade journey, which is quite interesting in that sense. I'm trying to share. Should be
now.
Yeah. Are you seeing anything?
Yes, we're seeing everything. So now you just need to go into the full screen and then.
Yes, this I'm trying to do right now because my screen on my laptop is now completely different than what I'm supposed to have. But anyway,
if you just...
there we go.
Okay.
Should be now in full screen mode.
Perfect. Now it's looking very good.
Thank you. Even in my age, digital things are still working. That's good. So thank you very much for being here and being able to present Norafin. As you have already said, Norafin is indeed one of those companies focusing on production of nonwovens. We are based in the eastern part of Germany. And to that sense, our history goes really a long time back. In 1980, we were the first European producer of hydroentanglement, which is called spunlace technology, being used for technical applications already in that time. Going through the history and going to some of the highlights is that in 2012, we installed a second line. And as of 2018, we are active in the US. So if you look now worldwide, Norafin has in total roughly 230 employees worldwide, with the base and head office based in Germany in the Erzgebirge, which is the Ore Mountains in English, and also having a facility in Norafin Americas, Mills River, which is close to Asheville in the mountains of the Blue Ridge Mountains. So what are we doing? We are producing fibers, man-made fibers, natural fibers, even animal fibers, and transferring that into products which are sustainable, which are durable, and being used for different applications, including of course, technical applications, but also traditional applications as cleaning, but also going into interior like wallpapers and this kind of things. And 73% of our process fibers are sustainable or recycled. This is something where we have been putting quite some emphasis on it recently in making sure that all those fibers are not being wasted, but being reused, and that we have almost zero waste in our plants. So going back to that, value sustainability, we systematically analyze, measure, and document our actions that have effect on the environment, which is really important. We develop measures to continuously improve our environment performances targeted at the following areas. Okay, we can go into that, but we have no time for that. The bottom line is that we are trying to be as conscious as possible of our environment, of our energy, and the resources which are available, and that is the lead of our company. So going back to the basics, what are non-wovens? Actually, non-wovens compared to textiles are one step less, as you put it very black-white. So in principle, we have the fibers, we have the consolidation, and we have the final products. Where you have in textile technology, you need to make yarns, you need to make wovens or knitted, you have to twist and twill it, and then you finally have the product. So it is a very simple way of producing of transferring fibers into a final product. How do we do this? Therefore, we have our spunlace technology. The spunlace technology, both in Germany and also in the US, we have 2 lines in Germany, 1 in the US. And what it is actually doing compared with the needle punch, which some of the people know, we take the fibers, pass them through the card, and it will be entangled. The entangling can be done by needles going up and down, or can be done by water jets, which is taking the fibers, finding a hole, and closing the hole with the fibers. By doing so, we have a broad range of weight we can produce, down from 15 GSM up to 750, which is quite interesting, quite thick for a spunlace, and width going up to 2.40 meters. We have also the potential to introduce scrims or textiles or other specium in between our layering, and also add reinforcement, an aperture and flat, as we call that, hydro embossing. We can either hydro quilt, so quilting without yarns. We can add all kinds of technologies, and also we have in our facility the potential to add after treatment, which will then give, for example, water repellency, coloring, prints, dots, all those kind of interesting things. So looking at our technology and further opportunities, as I was saying, we have the needle punching on top of that in our house, which we can combine also with hydro entangling to make even more durable products. We have dedicated cutting facilities, we have the after treatment, and we have dedicated lab equipment going into tensile tests, visual inspection, Martindale, but also flammable tests, tests for permeability, and filtration tests. There we have even a big filtration bank where we can kind of simulate long-term filtration performances in the industry. So how is Norfin organized? We have our organization put into 4 different product lines. We have the protective line, which has to do everything with personal and equipment protection, focusing on protective solutions for heat and flame, protective solutions for violence and vandalism. And then we have the performance line, which is focusing on high performance and using standard fibers. There we find application industry and construction and cosmetic and health. The filtration line, where we are focusing on filtration, both wet and also dry filtration, having pleatable filter media, non-pleatable filter media, including reinforcements from scrims. And last but not least, back to the roots, back to the basic, we still are very active in cleaning for surface maintenance cleaning and body and hygiene. Those materials are even so strong compared with traditional technology that you don't use it as once, but you can even wash it and make washing gloves out of it. So focusing on the protective line, which is heat and fire, we have different solutions there. We have solutions for heat and flame, which are functional textile materials that protect humans, animals, and objects against heat and flame and wet conditions. And of course, we have the protection solutions for violence and vandalism, which we find mostly in public transport and aviation, that are technical textiles providing protection against violence, vandalism, heat, and flame. And those things are really important. As we can see, we protect human, we protect also dogs, which is a new application where we are focusing on, step and slash protection, which you see nowadays in Europe, but all over the world, but especially in Europe as well, and also the US, that there is a lot of violence going on where people are using needles, sharp objects, knives to hurt other people. And by doing adding non-wovens, which could be made by Dyneema or Kevlar or Twaron, we can add protection to the people. That is a non-flame or flame protection. And of course, we are still active in our firefighter, which is the most part of the business, where we help to protect the firefighters against additional heat, but also heat stress and also radiant heat, and try to make their lives worthwhile to go into the fire and that they won't die doing the job. A very challenging environment with new regulations going in, also with the change of climate change, where we have more heat going all over the world, where people are being stressed by doing the job, standing on the highway, regulating traffic with a full gear equipment could cause some cardiac issues. And there we are also trying to get cooling in. So end users, we have flame retardant isolation layers, flame barrier, wet barrier, heat barrier, everything what has to do in getting heat out and flame out of the human system. And what we do is we produce against norms. We produce in Europe according to EN 469, which is the firefighter norm, and for the US, well-known NFPA 9071. I know that in India, there are some restructurations going on for firefighters. They are adjusting to the norms, most like the European norms, with some NFPA in there as well. But mostly we focus on those norms to perform and to make sure that our material is working. For that, we also have internal equipment to test that prior to have it certified, focusing on wearing comfort, durability, breathability, and improved isolation. So we also have our protector layers going into safety shoes, gloves, protectors, industrial equipment for the same reasons. Especially with the perforation and also the 3D performance, we are very well in isolation there. We also have a range of products which is called Norofin Commanda, which is combining both technology of needle punching and spun lacing to enhance the products. And it could be a true alternative to a textile or being used as a textile to increase the protection against especially arc flash. So going back to our vandalism, which I already told you, besides the dogs, we're also looking, of course, at police, prisoner wardens, and those kind of people, which also are focused now with sharp objects in the prisons to attack the lives, which is very important, and we can assist in that kind of work. So this is us. Andre Lang, our general manager, and myself are really happy to talk to you. Our focus on this mission is to explore the opportunities of our product applications in the Indian market. It's a growing market. It's also a market which is changing due to regulations with different demands, and we're looking there for partner up with local people to bring knowledge to the marketplace and also to learn from the marketplace. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. van Hattem. Questions? Ferdinand, any questions?
At the moment, there are no questions. Maybe later some more will come.
Okay. Mr. van Hattem, we can still share your, we can see your screen. A herd of sheep. I will try to take the screen away from you 1 second.
Yes. I already closed the presentation, but I cannot take the screen away.
That I will probably have to do that. Good. Okay. Okay. If you listen carefully in the beginning during the welcomes, which of course I hope all of you did, Mr. Halusa, our director, already mentioned it. It has caused quite some headache and ruffled foreheads in the past year, and we think it will keep doing so, because since 1st of January this year, something is in power or is starting to be enforced, which really concerns companies worldwide, and especially those who are in import and export to other foreign markets, and that is the so-called Supply Chain Act. So we in German, we call this thing Lieferketten-Sorgfaltspflichtengesetz. So here you have one of our lovely endless German words, but yeah, the English make it a bit easier, and it's the Supply Chain Act. But nonetheless, it's quite a complicated legal undertaking. And what does it mean? It means that companies who are re-importing or exporting to Europe will now be held accountable for anything that happens in their supply chains. So from every step through which any product goes through. And of course, that applies to all kinds of products. And Tailorlux actually is a company which we have on board today, and they offer you, not directly now related to the Supply Chain Act, but they offer you a solution where your textiles can be monitored along the supply chain and along, well, the entire value chain, which is really quite interesting and fascinating. But how exactly this works and what solution they are exactly offering, for this, I would hand over directly to Mr. Porchetta from Tailorlux, who is going to tell you more about their product and yeah, why it's also very interesting really for the Indian market. With that, over to you, Mr. Porchetta. I think you will just be speaking, right?
Yes, I actually have a small presentation that can be made available afterwards, but I believe in this case, words are going to tell way more than pictures.
Okay.
So
Okay.
opposite of what is always said. So everyone can hear me, I assume.
Yes.
So
Yes.
wonderful. I'd like to thank again everyone for participating. And yes, our company is basically a provider for traceability solutions, especially in the textile industry. What this means is that we are a spin-off of the Münster University that specialized in special chemicals for traceability. This works for the textile industry with the integration of these special chemicals, which are nothing more than luminescent chemicals, into your product in a very low dosage. We are talking about parts per million, and we also possess extensive know-how in the optical detection of said tracers, which basically allow your supply chain to get identified as authentic from the first production steps alongside every single further step up to the product and even to the first and second recycling cycles in the whole span of the life cycle of your product. We have extensive knowledge into traceability for man-made fiber as well as natural fiber. I personally supervised two projects for cotton traceability in India myself. I have to say it has been quite the interesting experience. What we offer companies is the possibility to have a so-called tailored traceability solution, as well as all the information for the seamless integration of said solution, both on the material side as well as on the sensor side in your already existing production. We have many customers already in India using our solution. We collaborate extensively with the Good Cashmere Standard Board in order to ensure that the cashmere material that is sold in the world is actually original cashmere. And as I mentioned previously, one of the first worries that one hears about is, okay, we are putting something extra in our organic cotton, in our cashmere material, in something that has to be as pure as possible to actually be certified as being our material. Well, the doses of our chemicals of our tracer fiber in the material, I like to stress this, are extremely low. We're talking about hundreds or even tens of parts per million. We are currently undergoing very extensive sensor development, which will bring us very soon to the launch on the market of the Tailor Scan 4 sensor, which is basically a field sensor which allows recognition alongside the supply chain directly on the field, even from untrained personnel. Beside this kind of sensorics, of course, we have heavy-duty inline sensorics that can be integrated in existing machinery, and we also provide solutions about the seamless integration both on the machine itself as well as on the quality management side. And we also possess a platform for the establishment of so-called digital twins of your materials, which means that not only we provide a physical solution for the traceability, we also help providing solutions based on mass transfer for the actual flow of material control. And this is realized with several certifications as well. We are also heavily investing in research and development on the infrared spectroscopy in order to deepen down the material recognition and to be able to deliver not only information about our added material, but also information on the basis material. And all of this is part of the so-called Integritex product, which is the product that Tailorlux is very gladly providing to many customers already, and hopefully to many that will display their interest to us after this presentation. So if any questions are there, we'll be more than glad to answer them.
Thank you very much.
We have a question, but not for Tailorlux at the moment. Maybe that comes a little bit, always it's a little bit of a delay. So I still have a question for Novafin. And the question is from Mr. Ravishankar Gopal. And he asks, what is the wallpaper made of and which is the raw material used in spunlace for this end use?
Okay, that's an easy question. Thank you very much for asking. The wallpaper is made of flax fibers, which is a natural fiber. And the glue being used to put it on the wall is also natural glue, which is the Velbine partner of ours. And the fibers are sourced from Europe, locally.
Thanks for clarifying. So in the moment, that's all the questions I have, but maybe later some more will come.
Okay, all right. Then thank you very much, Mr. Porchetta. Also, thank you very much, Mr. Van Hatten, for answering again, even though it was an easy question, but they are also valuable in their own right, I think. Yeah, so I think now we have heard a lot of textiles, or in the case of Tailorlux, we have heard of a specific application and add-on to a textile, so to speak. But yeah, to get these textiles, we need something else first. We need machines, of course, to create these textiles in the first place. One company which is very big and very good in supplying exactly this machines for a variety of textiles is the company Trützschler. And Trützschler might be familiar to many of you already. It has this funny umlaut in its name originally. It doesn't make life easier. I know what I'm speaking about. I have the same problem. But yeah, nonetheless, Trützschler with UE in this case has managed to establish themselves successfully in the Indian market. So the company might well be familiar to some of you already. But yes, still, the Indian market is big, so growth is never done, so to speak. And also Trützschler, of course, is looking into new fields and new product developments and new customers. And yeah, a bit more in detail about this will come to you from Ms. Rupali Chitnis, who is going to speak now. and tell you more about Trützschler and their machines and applications.
Yeah, good afternoon and good morning. Francisca, can you share my presentation which I have forwarded? Because it was a very last minute and...
Okay. 1 second. Dipti, are you here?
Yes, I am here also.
Okay.
Is it visible? Yeah, it's visible.
Okay.
Yeah. Good morning and good afternoon. I'm Rupali Chitnis from AT Enterprises Private Limited. We actually represent Trützschler for Indian market, and this presentation was basically to be given by Mr. Christoph, but since he is unwell, I'm taking this opportunity to present. Trützschler is basically a family-owned business company with a focus towards customer approach, with a belief in innovation and quality, and the path towards sustainability. Lot of equipments of Trützschler non-wovens can support lot of sustainable products that can be manufactured. It has an expertise for past 130 years, more than 130 years, having an employees of more than approximately 3,000 employees worldwide, 10 production sites and development sites across globally, with global market leader in high performance carding equipments. Trützschler Group has got a business units in spinning, card clothing, and man-made fiber. Germany and Switzerland has various locations across in Germany as well as in Switzerland. These various locations are being mentioned here. Now with more focus towards technical textile, the end product application of some of the non-woven applications are for wipes, beauty masks, coating substrates, cosmetic pads, fem care products, hygiene products, medical products, filter media, and technical applications. Applications for multifilament yarns are there, like for carpet yarns, as well as technical yarns for nets, ropes, belts, and tarpaulins. The various solutions for non-wovens can be completely offered by Trützschler non-wovens, from the initial stage of fiber preparation components to the winding component, where a lot of variations are there for supporting web forming machineries, as well as for web bonding units and dryers and ovens. Since cotton is the main focus with Indian scenario, some of the very critical properties of cotton fibers are, or very good properties of cotton fibers are absorbency, biodegradable, hydrophilic, skin friendly, as well as superior look and feel, which makes it all the more beneficial to be used as a sustainable product for various non-woven applications. These are some of the pictorial view, wherein a lot of variation of cotton like unbleached, bleached, common oils, all type of fiber forms of cotton can be used and processed. The various line concepts which are supported by Trützschler for making non-woven from cotton fibers are one of the depiction of this line with a very specialized card, which is known as random card, where the inclination of the rollers are inclined in a very typical manner to have a best control on the various length of the fibers that are there in the cotton short as well as long fibers. And basically for the combine oils, 100% combine oils can be supported by this random cards. Some of the
Excuse me, Ms. Rupali, can I quickly interrupt? Is it possible to have the full screen mode, because some viewers say they cannot properly see the presentation? So it would be a pity if they miss out on this information.
don't know why I'm not able to do it. I don't know.
Ms. Chitness, no, if you go back to your presentation. And then
Here?
at the bottom bar, the orange bar, you see the sizing adjustment, right? The plus minus. And right next to it, right next to that, on the right, on the left of that thing, there is a small
Go further
box.
to the right, in the right corner.
No, go to the right. Yeah. Yeah, so now, yeah, no, one more to the right. One more to the right. One more to the right, this one.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry. I was here on this particular slide. So concept that is supported by Truschler for making the cotton nonwovens is basically with the random cards, which gives a full control on the variation in the length of the cotton fibers, which are short fibers as well as the long fibers, as well as it can support 100% cotton oil to be processed on this particular card. So one of the application which is for wipes. Small presentation. For wipes as well as cotton pads. So there are small capacity lines and the small capacity carding machines which can also support the production of non from small scale carding cards like 1.3 meters, having these cards are especially different cards, having a very different control onto the fibers. Takeaways from this is it's a proven technology having industrial solutions which are already there, installations are there. Then Truschler has got NCR and NCA card concepts for handling the cotton fibers. Then the second application is the needle punch lines, which are very recently being launched, known as T Suprema concept. This is a joint collaboration with Technology from Italy, and it can support the various products for making the needle punch nonwovens like geotextile for high capacity, medium capacity, for automotive and technical felts, as well as filtration fabrics. So that's all from my side. And if any questions, then myself and Mr. Criswell can answer later on also. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Chitness. Are there any questions that came up so far?
So far, we don't have questions for Truschler. Nevertheless, there's still a follow-up question to Norafin, again from Mr. Ravishankar Gopal. I don't know if Mr. Van Hattum and Mr. Lang are here in the moment. Yes. All right, then I would just read it out. So Mr. Gopal is asking, do you process cotton gray and bleached on your machine?
Yes, we do. We do both cotton, but we have to also watch out for the quality of the fibers. The fibers itself cannot be standard cotton. It needs to be non-woven grades, going a little bit in smaller DC tags. Of course, with natural fibers, it's difficult to define smaller DC tags, but as long as the fibers are not exceeding 50 to 60 millimeters, so 5 to 6 centimeters, we are able to process it on our machines. I hope that answers the question. If not, then please come on. There are never any silly questions, only stupid answers, so that's fine.
I agree very much, Mr. Van Hattum, but it gives me actually a very good bridge to the next company, because cotton was now brought up. But there are also other fibers other than cotton, very specialized artificial fibers, such as glass fiber, for example. And yeah, that basically we don't just need machines to make the fabric, we also need machines to actually make the yarns, the thread, before we can even make the fabric. And the next company whom I would like to introduce is a company who can do exactly that. They can design the machines for you, or they can create, build the machines for you, the production lines for you that are required to make specialty fibers with very high-tech applications. And yeah, before I say any things that are incorrect, I would at this point hand over to Mr. Kanga Rodriguez, who is much better placed to tell you more about this fascinating topic and the machines that are required to make these things and how Dines can help you to make that happen. Yeah, with that, I would hand over to you, Mr. Rodriguez, and give you the screen sharing rights as well, so that we can also see your presentation.
So far, we cannot hear you yet, I think.
So we can see your screen now, but yes, we cannot hear you.
We cannot hear you yet. There is this this option, audio settings. Sometimes one has to change, select a different microphone.
Let's check this one.
That sounds much better.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Now
Perfect.
it's working. Okay.
Now
perfect.
we just need your presentation and then we're ready to go.
Where was it again? Here?
So we can see your screen, but no presentation is open, or at least we cannot see it.
Now? And now
Yep.
I need to change, was it?
Yeah, now you need to change the here Anzeigen-Einstellungen.
Yeah, that was.
No, the first one, the first one. No,
okay.
Okay, fine. That
Now it's
also
working?
works. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. Very good. So, yeah, I'm here on behalf of the Dines Apparatenbau GmbH. We are based close to Frankfurt, in a little town called Mülheim am Main. So we are 20 minutes away from the airport, which is very practical if you want to visit us. The company is over 90 years old, and actually the name Dines is mostly related to heated components and more specifically to codettes. So Dines was well known for their high performance inductive heated codettes. Nevertheless, the company underwent a successful turnaround in the last 15 years, in which we have been moving from a pure component supplier to an engineering company offering turnkey solutions to our customers. And what we do is to offer solutions that go from the lab to the small production scale. So we can be partners to our customers in the beginning of the development of a process or a yarn, and then from the lab just be their partners up to the first upscale trials. So next one, our competencies are mostly is the modular design of lab pilot small production lines, and which are mainly used to develop and produce textile and technical yarns. So the applications are manifold. So these are a few examples, but it is mostly depending on the process or the yarn that the customer wants to produce. But we have applications in the medical sector, for instance. We have many of our partners, they are working in the field of carbon fibers, developing carbon fibers, more specifically right now. A lot of people are focusing here in Europe in bio-based precursors, so mostly precursors which are based on cellulosic material, and based on this, the carbon fibers are produced at the end. But of course, if you go down to the past where we were just, so to say, just a component supplier. We supply, for instance, all the codecs in the washing and drawing sections for the Kevlar lines of DuPont, for instance. So yes, as an example. So so we are very familiar with the technical textile application. And how we do this modular design, so we can really go from the pilot plant and upscale it to a small production line. Is this thanks to our multi-mode system, which is our own proprietary control system, in which it allows us to do so. I will explain you in a later slide a little bit more about this. And what we can also offer is, of course, engineering expertise, many different fields regarding textile applications, so production. And what we have as a big advantage as an engineering company is that we have our own workshop. So we assemble our own lines. We have still the big workshop from the times where the company was producing a lot of godets. So we can build the plants at our side, run a factory acceptance test before we deliver. So that's a very, very useful asset we have. And our interest is basically to find customer aiming for the development of new spinning processes. Right now, for instance, recycled feedstocks, polymer feedstocks are very in trend. Also bio-based feedstock is also a very interesting field in which we are cooperating with customers. And of course, to take you from the lab to the small production line. So we can really love to get involved in this scaling up process of the technology of our customers. So as a broad product overview, as you can see, we cover all spinning processes. So wet spinning, of course, right now, especially if you're talking about bio-based polymers. We can also integrate the carbonization line at this field up to carbonized fibers. So we do all the stabilization, low temperature and high temperature furnaces. Of course, we can still offer our godets. We still build them, manufacture them for some of our long-time customers, and we implement them, of course, in our own lines. Melt spinning, if it's monofilament, multifilament, we have also done this, and we have also very interesting nanofiber technology, which is combining the traditional electrospinning technology with centrifugal heads to reach a very homogeneous distribution of the nanofibers. So I told you before about this multi-mode, and multi-mode is actually the key factor that allows us to develop this modular design of lines in the multi-mode system, which is made by us. So hardware, of course, we buy it from OEMs, but all the software, all the development of the electrical construction of this system is made by us, is in-house. So what we do is we have at the lowest level, the basic level, we have the module. So each process step is designed as a module. This module has its own PLC, so they can be operated as a standalone machine, and has a sort of intelligence in itself. And what we do is we integrate them in the next level, which is the multi-mode master level, in which we have the PLC for the whole line. And through a connection via Ethernet, the central control system, this master, recognize where the different modules are placed on the line, and rearrange itself in a way that you can always operate the line. That means that you can take out modules, for instance, process steps, change them in the position, yes, if you want to vary the different process steps to develop your technology, and you will be always able to operate the line as a whole. So the system, it's intelligent in this way that it recognizes which process step is in which position, so you can always operate the line without any programming effort. What we also have is, of course, a very high flow of data from the module. So everything which is being measured through sensors, could be the speed of the codecs, temperatures, pressures, whatever you have in the line, can be gathered through the master and then be taken up to the uppermost level, which would be the multimode explorer. The multimode explorer is the computer level in which we can store this data. We can also operate the line from this level, of course. It could be a kind of a central operation room. And what is most important with this data, you can analyze it. You can also backtrack into the process. So once you get the results from the lab, maybe a couple of days later, then you can go back and see, okay, we had very good results. What were we doing, especially 2-3 days ago? So you can go there, then maybe try to replicate these conditions in the line and see if you get some consistency in the development of your technology. But basically, this is the key, and thanks to this modular equipment, we are able to do this also modular scale up of the process. So the development itself by changing the different process steps, but also increasing the capacity of the line. And by introducing multimode, I'm at the end of my presentation and looking forward to questions.
Thank you, Mr. Kanka Rodriguez. Questions anywhere? Ferdinand, or did anything
So far,
come
no
up?
questions.
No
There are no
questions.
questions.
Okay, so we will pick them up if and when they come in. Yeah, now we're almost at the end, actually, which brings me already, almost sadly, brings me to the last company who is going to present today. On that note, Mr. Giesmann, thank you very much for your patience. It's your turn now, but before it's your turn, I will say a few words because next up we have the company ZSK, and they are not to pick any favorites here, but they are probably my favorite company of this delegation, simply because their applications are so wide-ranging and so unexpected and fascinating that I can't help but yeah, having quite a liking for this company. Because ZSK, what is ZSK doing? They're dealing with technical embroidery. So now, when I first heard, when they joined the project, and I heard, okay, embroidery, I mean, what do I think of all things? I think of clothes. I think of, I don't know, a nice sari. I think of my kurta with nice embroidery, looking lovely and all that. But no, far away from that. ZSK is doing completely different things, because embroidery can also be used with very wide-ranging applications in the field of technical textiles. So embroidery is not only something that is needed to pretty up your sari, but it's also something that can be used in making bicycle seats or interactive children toys, or even something as unexpected as an airplane toilet. All of this can be used with, can be made with the help of technical embroidery, which really is quite fascinating. And how this works, and how ZSK does this, and why they're good at it. For that, I will hand now over to Mr. Giesmann. Mr. Giesmann, I will give you sharing rights, and then you will take over from here.
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much for this warm introduction. So you already gave me a lot of good points, which I will show you now in my presentation. You can see hopefully my screen now. Can you?
Yes, we still have the full screen problem a little bit. If you go to the upper bar and then the double arrow, that
yeah. So we double arrow. Here we are. Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
So yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Röttger. So as you already said, it's fascinating. I am 32 years in this company. My name is Frank Giesmann. And really, I started with a normal embroidery, which everybody of you knows, which is, let's say, the embroidery of a promotion or on textiles, where everybody has a logo or a workwear, where you have your name of your company embroidered on the shirt or on the cap, or any sport club need embroidery. So this is how we started. The company itself started in 1875, and through some difficulties in 1984, it has been transferred to the company ZSK, but the headquarter has been always here in Krefeld, next to Düsseldorf. Airport of Düsseldorf is closer to us than for the people from Düsseldorf itself, so very easy to reach us. Headquarter means also that we are producing our machines 100% in Germany, and there is no left, no right. We are only doing embroidery machines, but these embroidery machines in a very, let's say, wide field. Means we are doing in 5 product lines. First of all, the normal embroidery, which everybody knows of you, is for workwear, for everybody garments, for promotion. This is a standard thing with printing, I think everybody knows. Then, of course, for home textiles, which is very popular in India, and this is why we are already in India quite well established. We have more than 1,000 machines in India, but all mostly in home textile and in garments. We have our own agency there, we have engineers there, we have workshop there, we have service center, and we have spare parts there. So this is not the issue at all, but now we are coming to the other fields for the other product lines, which is smart textiles, composites, and automotive. And here we are not as good established, and here we hope through this seminar and this reunion that we will find some new partners who might help us here to get into it. We have now, I just show you here you see the slide is heating solutions. This is only one piece of smart textiles. For example, if you know, maybe 50% of all automotive car seats heatings are made already with embroidery machines. Not specifically from ZSK, but most of them are from, or an ZSK machine is involved. So you see here a big production machine. You see there are 2 wires, one copper wire and one heating wire. The copper wire is heating up, the heating wire is heating up the seat, and the copper wire is just the occupancy sensor. So just when you sit down to the seat, then all the systems like airbag, like seatbelt function, and all these things will come up. So the ZSK offers to produce, so we have a free, sorry, I have to just, there was something on my screen, okay. So the free design of the layout is very important. So we can nearly do any design which you can imagine. We have various carrier materials. We can, for example, use all these fabrics, what you just have seen in the first presentations from Tuchler and all the others. Possibility of technology integration. So we can do a lot of things like wires, cables, sensors, LED lights, RFID chips. Boards itself, here's a cooperation with Bosch, where we have a fully automatic system to place boards on fabrics, and this one, when with conductive threads, we combine it and conduct it. So you see the application areas is clothing, home, automotive, medical, or aerospace. This is in the moment, let's say, our main products. There are many varieties more, but this is always a thing when you are a rim producer for car rims and aluminium, and you produce every morning your aluminium rims. You will never stand up in the morning and say, hey, I call ZSK embroidery machines in Germany because they have the solution for me to give me composites in the rim, and I produce my rims from tomorrow onwards with composites in carbon, to have 10% lighter rims and to have 10% less carbon emission and all these things. No, you will not do this. And this is our, let's say, problem, that we are not let's say, in the focus of these people as a solution provider. And here, hopefully, we can help a little bit to make the people aware that ZSK embroidery machines is not only for putting a flower on a shirt, but also that we can put a lot of more technical textiles into this world to help. So here, for example, you have a heating jacket. It's already there. It's not a prototype. It's not something which is in the future or something. It's a normal product which you can buy in the shops. You have smart jackets already where your phone is with inductive energy is completely loaded. You have an antenna there. You have in the jacket yourself, you have the flexible keyboard where you can type in your numbers. You have a speaker on the neck, and all this is already integrated into these things. Also heating shoe soles or heating gloves or heating pants, all this is already in the market, and most of you didn't know yet that it has been produced with an embroidery machine. Also here, for you it might be new, but also here, all these items which you can see, you can, or let's say an embroidery machine can help to provide these solutions. Okay, so heated mirror, hero walls, underfloor heating, heated carpets, heated room dividers. This is all already done, and this is already in production. But of course, these companies are quite clever and smart. They found out that we are the solution provider, and we sign NDAs with them that we are not allowed to tell you that they are using our technologies, because of course they're afraid of copying. But you can do a lot of things with our machines, and I'm very happy to answer your questions afterwards. Also, this is a complete different story. Automotive, in the automotive, as I just said, the car heating devices, steering wheel heatings, or sensor wires for seat occupancy, this is all done with our machines. Also, a very big, I would say the largest automotive producer in Europe is using our machines for having a what's called a humidity sensor in their cars. So also for medical use, we have kidney warmers, laboratory supplies, operating tables, a lot of things. If you want to sensor your blood pressure, you can do it with an embroidery machine. For example, you have in the moment hospitals where, let's say, a nurse has to occupy 50 people in 10 rooms. So each room contains 4 to 5 beds. So now she has to go from door to door every hour to see if all the patients are still there, if they're in the bed, if the wet of the bed is wet, if they are still breathing, if they have any other problem. So here you can connect all these bed sheets with sensors. Then you connect this to one, let's say, control center, and this you can all surveil from one room. So you don't have to go all these meters and open all these doors. So here also in the aerospace, in the windmills, we are already having our products. And this, I'm just talking about, let's say, electronics. I'm not talking about yet about carbon and composites. This is a complete different story. Here we have a single head machine. This is the smallest machine. You can see 2 different applications. So left, you, for example, have the wires, and the right-hand side, you can have the carbon and composites, which you can combine. And this is all automated, means you have a roll in the back, the embroidery is done in the front, and then it roll ups in the front again, and then you have a roll of whatever sensors, LEDs with antennas, RFIDs with antennas, heating spirals, or whatever you want to produce. Then a little bit bigger machine with a bigger field, same technology. And then we have the production machines when it comes to really high production, where here also in Germany, we have quite a big number of companies who are producing these kind of electronic items. Yeah, up to 20 components at the same time. So this is really mass production. So we have very small machines, but also very big machines with 9-meter field by 2.50 meters. So here we are also quite flexible. we can do the full pull through. That's just what I explained. It's a fully automated process from the back of the machine to the front. Okay, here we have different things. So just to make it easier for the production, then we have some accessories to bring the material behind the machine. So that's because carbon is quite heavy. So that all these, let's say, health and work conditions are improved. Then we have different stitch types, but here you can see also how small we can go with our machines and how precise the German manufacturing is working. So here, for example, is a carbon object with on top a heating. Don't ask me why somebody would put a heating in a carbon object, but they are doing it, and mostly they are using it for racing cars. So here we have this, what I just explained, the PCB board placement device, which we developed together with Bosch. Here you can put all kind of boards. The machine is laying it down completely and embroidering it, and with conductive thread, it will be connected to the energy. So the biggest advantage of embroidery heating elements is, of course, the scalability, the free design, the various carrier materials, wide variety of joining the techniques. So we have all this not only for heating, but for many other things. And yeah, Mr. Röttger just told me you have 5 minutes. So this was my task, but it was more a challenge because otherwise I would talk now for hours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Giesmann. Actually, given that two companies did not present, we were not as time pressed as I expected we would be. So from my side, you would be more than welcome to talk for a few more hours. But yeah, I'm not the only one here. So I think, yeah, probably we all know that these digital events are always exhausting in terms of concentration and focus. Yeah. But yes, I mean, I think, I don't know, first, maybe, are there any questions to any of the presenting companies? Not that we run over
so
these.
So far, there are no open questions. I think it was already so covering all the aspects that maybe people have to first digest it, and maybe it will take some time.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that was also a nice presentation to close, actually, in a way. Dipti, I would hand over to you, or?
Yeah, thank you, Ken. So, yeah, I guess then we come to the end of the session, since unfortunately, yeah, two companies cannot join due to some technical issues, actually. So we are looking at options how we could make the presentation available. It's just that until and unless we have a confirmation, we are not able to, let's say, guarantee it at the moment, but we are trying. And if we can, we will be sharing that with you. And besides this, also all the presentations so far, we will be also sharing either via a link to a website or via one of the other, mediums. So we will keep you updated on that as well. And feel free to contact us. So we have, of course, organized individual meetings in the coming days based on mutually matching of requirements as given by the German companies. If any of you all have additional requests, again, request you to write to us, and we will be happy to take forward the same. So last but not the least, we would also like to thank some of our other partners who, not all of them are present here. Basically, we have also 3 media partners, Textile Excellence, Textile Value Chain, and Textile Innovation, as well as the Gujarat Chamber of Commerce, and lastly also the Surat or the Southern Gujarat Chamber of Commerce. So they had also extended support. So Gujarat is also, of course, another major, let's say, state where there are major investments along with Maharashtra. And yeah, we are happy also to have support from those regions. Thank you once again. And also thank you for all the companies who have participated today here.
So this event would not be a success without all of you. Also to all of the audience, all our guests from India who have joined today. Thank you for the same. And yeah, I think if there are no more questions, we've come to the end of this session for now then.
In the moment, there are no more questions.
Yeah. Okay, then thank you everyone for your continued support and all the best for the coming days and the meetings for all our German participants then. So see you all soon. Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Bye bye. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.